triangle, Chara, Blanco, and Valeri. How do you try to limit their effectiveness on Saturday?
Well, I think you have to get as close as you can to them. I think that we've got numbers defensively that can do that. They're three talented, experienced players, so it's going to be a challenge. But I think the closer you get to them, the less time they have, the less opportunity they have to make a special play.
This is going to be kind of an odd thing for Nagbe, I assume, facing Portland. Going back to when it was announced he was coming to Atlanta United, what were your thoughts and expectations?
I was excited. I mean, I had heard rumors about it before it happened, but you get another great player in the locker room, another talented guy. And at the moment, everything I had heard about him was that he was a really good person as well. And to have him here has been great for the team. But at that time, I was really excited.
Michael Parker's told us last week, kind of talking about how he was telling the team kind of what to expect and his stories trying to lift MLS Cup. Are you the only one to win MLS Cup on this team? Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. But what are you kind of imparting on your teammates there to give them wisdom?
Well, I think I haven't really spoken to them much about it yet. And what I said on Thursday night was that we've got a lot of guys in the locker room that seem to be ready for a big game. Especially the foreign contingent of players seem to be up for big games whenever we have them. So, I mean, one thing I'll say is that when you do win one, it's something that they can never take away from you. It's always yours. People can explain away who should have won, why you shouldn't have won, but in the end, it's yours. It's in your pocket forever, and I think that's something to play for. It's something you can't really understand until you have it, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing about championships is that they're yours forever.
Does it feel more special for you now at this point in your career, kind of having this opportunity so late where a lot of players, when they're coming to the end, they don't get that opportunity to play on such a high-quality team?
Yeah, I think about it more. I mean, Mike and I were pretty spoiled and also unfortunate at the beginning of our career. The first 3 years we were in MLS, we were going to the final. The league was different; it was smaller, and it made it seem like it was easier to get to. I think now it is much more difficult. I think that, especially now, going through the teams we've gone through, has been tough. It makes it a bigger feat for sure, and. Yeah, so at this point in my career, it's something that I've realized how difficult it is to get to. It's been a while since I was in one, so the opportunities don't come around all the time.
What does that look like when you're imparting wisdom on the guys? Are you standing up in a team meeting? Is it one-on-one conversations?
Yeah, I dim the lights and everybody.
Or you just kind of pull guys off to the side and say, here's my experience?
No, guys end up just coming up to you and asking questions or saying, oh, what about this game or what about that time? And you just try and tell them. I mean, it's, usually the guys that are speaking English, usually the guys that have followed the league for a while, and they'll say, what about this game, what about that game? So you try and give them a little insight, you try and explain to them the facts, give it to them straight, because I think that they're going to find that this is going to be exciting, but it's going to be a lot harder than they think.
I'm just imagining you bringing in a smoke machine and kind of.
No. I mean, it's usually the same guys, and it's usually, curious minds.
Did you get a ring for the MLS Cup? What did you get?
We did. We got a ring. Took a while, but we got one. Yeah.
Where is that now? Where do you keep it? Out of curiosity.
I think it's at my parents' house.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania. Yeah.
For you guys, can we take a lot from the June matchup between you guys and Portland?
I don't know. Possibly, but I don't know. The players are the same. The personnel is the same, but within the kind of stretch run of the season, the middle of the year, a team traveling cross country against a tough team, I think that it was a different set of circumstances. But I'm sure we can absolutely watch the film and say, oh, this is what this player does, this is what that player does. But the games over the last few weeks are obviously the more pertinent ones.
Last game with Martino, is it something you're trying to appreciate this a little bit more this week, or is it just there's too much at stake to get distracted by sentiment?
I think when you go into a game, there's a million factors that go into your head about why you want to win. This one's has the more glaringly obvious ones, but it's certainly one of them. Yeah, I mean, when we win on Thursday night, it's kind of, you look over to the coaching staff, you realize how happy they are, and that's a testament to the work that they've put in, and I think that it's a bit of validation for the work that they've done and the questions that have been asked of them over the last 2 years at times, and so this game is another step for them, and it's another step for us, and it's certainly one that I think that we want to give to them.
Is there a single most important thing that you've learned from Martino and the coaching staff this past 2 years that has kind of stuck with you?
Is there one, or would you like me to give you one?
No, is there
There's
one?
kind of two different things.
If there's one, would you like to share it?
No, I don't know if there's really one soccer thing. I think that there's been a million soccer things. It's been enjoyable though. I mean, one of the best days of the week for me over the last couple of years is the day when you get to sit down and watch the coach break down film and break down the other team. It's enjoyable to watch. Kind of go into a game feeling more confident than you would otherwise, because you feel like you have all the necessary information and what it takes to beat a team. It's almost like you're sitting down to play a board game or a video game, and someone's giving you all the cheats. Everyone's telling you exactly what's going to happen. Tata has that kind of prophetic nature where he tells you what's going to happen, and then oftentimes I've seen the exact thing happen in games.
Did it happen in this recent game?
It happened in the first game against Red Bull, the goal that got VAR'd. We practiced knowing that they were going to try and get to the ball to the back post, try and win the first ball, and then you have to watch the area around the penalty spot. And Long wins the header. It comes down. Bradley Wright comes out of nowhere. He's very close to the penalty spot when he puts the ball in.
You mentioned this league kind of being much different than your first few years, and I think that nothing underscores that more than this facility that we're in right now. So this is kind of a two-parter. First of all, is just kind of what it means to you as a player to be able to train here every day, and then what was it like seeing Arthur in New Jersey, kind of the one who's made this possible?
Yeah, well, to the first part, it's something we talk about all the time, especially when we're here on weekends and we're training and maybe there's kids out here playing or there's guys on the side field. We always say, man, if I were 15 or 16 and I walked on a field like this, I think I would have just kind of laid down and rolled around in the grass for a bit. We wouldn't have been able to believe it, looking at some of the fields that we trained on as kids, and that we came up playing in clubs who were 15, 16 years old. And then even in the league, going some places that we've gone on preseason, going some of the training facilities we've trained on during the year. It's a far cry from then. And it just shows that, a guy like Arthur and the people that he's hired in this club want to make something real and want to make something legitimate, and they want to give their employees every single opportunity to be as good as possible. And that's what you want from a boss, and you want a boss that truly cares, and that's a guy that shows up when you win a trophy and is on the field no matter who he is, no matter what business he's been in, or how successful he's been in other ventures. He cares about his team, and he was there and he was happy, and I think that he was kind of swept up in how excited we all were, not only to win, but to see him and to feel like, yeah, this is our community. Like, do more.
Jeff, as a veteran, do you tell the young guys, Julian said he was going to embrace the moment. Do you kind of have to tell them that balance of enjoying it, but also staying focused?
Yeah, I don't know if there's too much of that needs to go on. I mean, when you step out on the field, especially when you step out on our field, it's something that we've done so many times.